Hi and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be comparing two of the hottest gaming smartphones on the market right now, the RedMagic 9S Pro and the ASUS ROG 8 Pro. But wait, did I say I will be doing the comparison? Not exactly. I'm handing this task over to Google's brand new AI tool, NotebookLM, which can generate impressive podcast-style content based on some simple input. The best part? This tool is free and available for everyone to try. In this video, I'll walk you through how you can use it yourself. First things first, let's head over to the website, notebooklm.google.com. Once you're logged in, you're ready to explore its full potential. Now, you can upload up to 50 different sources or documents for analysis. But for this demonstration, I'm keeping it simple. I'll upload a comparison link from GSM Arena and let NotebookLM work its magic. Let's see how it handles the showdown between the RedMagic 9S Pro and the ASUS ROG 8 Pro. Stay tuned to find out the results. I have waited about 5 minutes and now I will let you hear the entire podcast. I can tell you in advance that there are some mistakes regarding the RedMagic headphone jack or the ROG phone software, but considering that this 8-minute podcast has been generated with only one link, I think it is pretty impressive and I recommend you to try it. Let's check it out.
All right, so today we are diving headfirst into the beastly world of mobile gaming phones.
Beastly is right.
No, really?
We're talking top-tier tech.
The best of the best.
Specifically, we're throwing two titans into the ring.
The ASUS ROG Phone 8 Pro
versus the ZTE Nubia RedMagic 9S Pro.
And thankfully, we've got GSM Arena's spec showdown right here to guide us.
Our rule book.
Exactly, because if you're listening to this,
you want to win.
You want the champion.
And we're going to help you figure out which one of these phones is your best bet.
100%. Okay, so first things first, what's the first punch these phones throw at each other? Where do they really try to knock each other out?
Well, I think right off the bat, we see the RedMagic flexing its processing power.
Okay.
Like just a little bit faster on the CPU clock speed than the ROG phone.
So are we talking like noticeable difference or?
Right. For the average user, maybe not.
Okay.
But for someone who is really pushing the limits of mobile gaming,
yeah,
those milliseconds matter.
Okay, so slight advantage RedMagic when it comes to pure processing power. But what about this whole 341 mini LED programmable matrix thing on the ROG phone? I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does sound futuristic, right?
It does.
But really, all that means is crazy customization.
Okay.
Think like the back of your phone lighting up.
Okay.
But we're not just talking about a static image.
Right.
We're talking animations.
Wow.
Real-time game stats.
Yeah.
Even your own logo if you want to get really wild with it.
So it's like a personalized light show happening on the back of your phone.
Exactly. It's all about flair.
Whereas the RedMagic is keeping it a little more...
understated.
Yeah, sleek, minimalist.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got flashy versus minimalist, but let's talk practicality for a second, because what good is all that power and customization if your phone dies in the middle of an intense gaming session? What's the battery life looking like on these bad boys?
All right, well, good news for anyone who hates being tethered to a wall outlet.
Let's hear it.
The RedMagic is packing a serious battery.
Okay.
6,500 milliamp hours.
Okay.
Compared to the RG phone's 5,500.
So a decent amount larger then?
Yeah, not insignificant. And on top of that, it also boasts some seriously fast charging.
Okay, how fast are we talking?
Think like 0 to 100% in under 40 minutes.
Get out.
Yeah, so you can get back in the game in no time.
That's why. Okay, so you're back in the game quicker with the RedMagic, but I gotta ask, what about audio? Because sound is like half the experience, right?
Well, absolutely.
Especially in gaming.
Especially in gaming, and this is where we see a really interesting difference in approach.
Okay, lay it on me.
Remember how we talked about the RedMagic being all about speed?
Yeah.
Well, that applies to their audio philosophy, too.
How so?
They've gone all in on this new tech called Snapdragon Sound.
Okay, so for those of us who haven't plugged into the Matrix yet, break it down for us. What is Snapdragon Sound?
So imagine this. You're wearing your headphones, right?
Yeah.
And the audio you're hearing from your game is perfectly in sync.
Okay.
Like no lag whatsoever.
All right.
And the quality is crystal clear, super immersive.
That's the dream.
Exactly. That's what Snapdragon Sound is trying to achieve.
So high risk, high reward for the RedMagic because they've actually ditched the headphone jack entirely.
Yeah, that's right. Completely wireless.
Wow, bold move.
Whereas the ROG phone is like, All right, we're still going to give you that headphone jack.
Yeah, for us old school folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all about options.
Okay, so two different philosophies there. RedMagic, pushing the boundaries, embracing the wireless future ROG phone, saying, hey, we're ready for whatever you throw at us, wireless, you name it.
It's about knowing your audience.
Decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered processing power, battery life design choices, and some serious audio tech. What other surprises do these phones have up their sleeves?
Let's talk screams.
Okay, yeah, because that's what you're looking at.
That's the action.
When you're gaming, that's it.
So the RedMagic is coming in hot with a higher resolution display,
Okay.
which means
Sharper,
more details.
more pixels, the better, right?
You would think so, but that's where the ROG phone and its mini LED tech comes into play.
Okay.
Because it's not just about how many pixels you cram in.
Right.
It's how you use them.
Yeah.
And mini LED.
Yeah.
It's going to give you better contrast,
Okay.
deeper blacks,
Right.
more vibrant colors.
So it might even look better than the RedMagic, even though it has technically less pixels?
It's entirely possible.
Wow. Okay, so RedMagic going for raw resolution,
Wow.
ROG phone, saying, no, we're going to use our pixels wisely.
It's a different approach.
It's a different approach. All right, so screens, both phones, bringing something good to the table. Just depends what you're prioritizing. But let's talk software for a second. What's going on under the hood?
So the ROG phone is keeping it clean.
Okay.
We're talking stock Android.
Okay.
No bloatware, just pure Google goodness.
For people who like that vanilla experience. Exactly.
If you want to customize it yourself, go for it.
Yeah, you got the freedom.
Exactly.
But RedMagic, they've got their own thing going on, right?
Oh, yeah. They've gone all in on their RedMagic OS,
Yeah, okay.
which is completely designed for gamers.
Okay, so it's like optimized then.
Oh, yeah. The performance boosters that kick in when you launch a game,
Whoa.
custom control layouts, even the ability to really fine-tune your performance settings.
So they're really trying to like squeeze every little ounce of power out of this thing.
Every last drop.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds pretty tempting.
Yeah.
I gotta say, so ROG phone, giving you that freedom and flexibility, RedMagic is laser focused on gaming, saying, hey, we're going to make sure you have the best gaming experience possible.
They're both valid approaches?
They are, but there's one thing we haven't talked about yet that kind of throws a wrench in everything.
And that would be...
Price.
Yes. The real world.
The real world.
Constraints.
Because all of this sounds great, but if it's going to break the bank...
Right. So the ROG phone typically comes in at a higher price point.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It has a lot of premium features that customizable back to the stock Android experience.
Right.
Whereas the RedMagic might be a bit more budget friendly.
Okay, so if you're really looking for value and you're on a budget, the RedMagic might be the way to go.
It could be.
Okay, but it's not always about just the cheapest price, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Some people might find the RG phone worth that extra cost.
Right, features and all that.
It's all about your priorities.
I love this. This is why we do these deep dives. We're not just throwing specs at you. We're giving you the context of the why behind it all so you can actually make a decision.
Exactly. Informed decisions.
Okay, so we've covered the big stuff. Processing power, battery life, display, even software. But GS Marina always has these little details that could actually be deal breakers for some. What else jumps out at you from this spec sheet? So I'm looking at the ROG phone here, and I'm seeing pressure-sensitive zones.
Oh, yeah.
Like those air trigger things.
Those are huge for gaming.
Huge.
Especially if you're into like shooters and stuff.
Yeah.
Having those shoulder buttons makes a world of difference.
It's like having a controller built in.
Exactly.
Okay, and then I'm also seeing something about a built-in cooling fan on the ROG phone.
Keeping it cool, literally.
Yeah, because overheating is a real thing.
Oh, yeah, especially when you're pushing those graphics.
Phones get hot.
They get toasty.
Not good for performance.
Nope.
So the ROG phone, like, really trying to address that.
They're serious about performance.
Okay, and then on the RedMagic side of things, we've got the under-display fingerprint sensor.
It's sleek.
Very sleek. And the 16-megapixel under-display selfie camera.
Gotta love that.
So they're really maximizing that screen real estate.
It's all about that all-screen design.
Wow. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground here today.
We really have.
From processing power to battery life to even like the little details like a cooling fan.
It's those little details that can make all the difference.
They really can. And I think the biggest takeaway here for me is that both of these phones are absolutely incredible.
They're beasts.
They are. It's not like one is clearly better than the other.
It really depends what you're looking for.
Exactly.
What are your priorities as a gamer?
Are you all about that pure performance? Or
do you want that flexibility? Those options.
And that's what it comes down to.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you got to choose what's right for you.
Exactly.
So there you have it, folks. The ASUS ROG Phone 8 Pro versus the ZTE Nubia RedMagic 9S Pro. Two amazing phones for two very different types of gamers.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely and game on.